No, not now. Please, not today. We can't be late. She finishes her shift in 20 minutes. Leo, it's making that sound again.
The old car made a choking sound. It jerked once and then stopped working completely. It died right in the middle of the busy road. A little green pine tree air freshener hung from the mirror. It swung back and forth, but it could not hide the smell of fear and a broken engine. "Oh, no, 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 not now," whispered Leo. He was gripping the steering wheel so hard, his hands turned white. His twin brother Mark sat next to him. Mark hit the old dashboard with his hand. "Come on, Betsy, you cannot do this to us," he said. "Do not do this today." He talked to the car like it was a person who could listen. The car was a very old Honda Accord. It was covered in rust, and its name was Betsy. Horns started honking behind them. People were angry. They were trying to get to work. Leo felt his face get hot with embarrassment. He tried to start the car again. He turned the key. The engine made a clicking sound. It was a tired, dead sound. It was the sound of failure. "We have to push her," Leo said. His voice was tight. The two brothers, both 17 years old, opened their doors and got out. The sun was already hot. They put their shoulders against the hot metal of the car. They pushed with all their strength. Their muscles strained, sweat dripped down their faces. They managed to get the car to the side of the road, away from the traffic. They collapsed onto the dusty grass. They were breathing hard. They looked at the car that had ruined their big plan. It was supposed to be a happy day. It was their mother's birthday. "This was all we got," Mark said softly. He kicked a pebble with his worn-out shoe. "And now we do not even have this," Leo finished the thought. He put his head in his hands. Their mother, Maria, worked harder than anyone they knew. She worked 2 jobs. One job was cleaning offices in the early morning. The other job was serving food at a diner late at night. She always had a smile for them, but the twins could see the tiredness in her eyes. They could see the worry on her face. For 3 years, the twins had saved money. They saved every single dollar they earned from their after-school jobs at the grocery store. They did not buy new video games. They did not buy cool clothes. They put all their money into an old coffee can. They had a dream. They wanted to buy their mother a car. The bus ride to her jobs was long and tiring. It took hours every day. They wanted to give her back that time. They wanted her to have a little comfort, a little dignity. 2 weeks ago, the twins found Betsy. A man was selling her for $600. The car was not pretty. It was rusty and made funny noises, but the man said it was reliable. "It will get you from point A to point B," he promised. The twins counted out their savings. It was exactly $612. They bought the car. They spent their last $12 to put a little gas in the tank. They were so proud. They washed the car with soap and water. They vacuumed the inside. They were going to surprise their mother that evening. Now their surprise was broken down on the side of the road. "What are we going to do, Leo?" asked Mark. His voice was shaky. "I do not know, Mark. I just do not know." They sat in silence for a long time. They felt completely hopeless. Then an old pickup truck pulled up behind them. An older man got out. He had kind eyes and a baseball cap. "Having some car trouble, boys?" he asked. "Yes, sir," said Leo, standing up. "It just stopped working." The man's name was Walter. He took a look under the hood. He shook his head. "It's not good," he said. "The timing belt is broken, maybe more. This is a big repair. It will cost more than this old car is worth." The twins' hearts sank. Their dream was over. They had nothing left to give their mother. Walter saw the sadness on their faces. He saw the determination, too. He saw the love that had pushed them to buy this old car. "Why were you driving this old thing today?" he asked gently. Leo looked at his brother, then looked back at Walter. His eyes were full of tears he was trying hard to hold back. "It's for our mom," he said. "It's her birthday. We saved for 3 years. This was our present to her. We wanted to surprise her after her night shift." Walter was quiet for a moment. He looked at the 2 young men. He saw their love for their mother. It reminded him of his own family. He made a decision. "Well," he said, We can't have a birthday surprise ruined. My shop is just a mile down this road. I have a tow truck. I'll take your car there. We'll see what we can do." The twins were surprised. They had no money to pay him. "We can't pay you, mister. We have no money left." Walter smiled a small smile. "Don't you worry about that right now. Let's just get this car off the road." He called for his tow truck. Soon Betsy was being lifted onto the back of the truck. The twins got into the cab with Walter. They drove to a small auto repair shop. The sign said Walter's Garage. The shop was clean and organized. Walter was a real mechanic. He wasn't just a friendly stranger. He was an expert. He told the boys to wait in the office. He would take a closer look at the car. The office had a small couch and a coffee machine. The twins sat down. They were exhausted from worry. An hour passed, then another. The sun began to set. Their mother would be finishing her shift soon. They wouldn't be there to pick her up. She would be worried about them. Finally, Walter came into the office. His hands were covered in grease. His face was serious. He sat down opposite them. He looked at Leo and Mark. "Boys," he began, "that car is in worse shape than I thought. The engine is tired. The transmission is weak. Fixing the timing belt is just the start. It needs hundreds of dollars in parts and many hours of work." The twins looked down at the floor. They had failed. "But," he said, and his voice was different now. It was softer. "But I've been thinking. I had 2 sons once. They're grown now. They live far away. They loved their mother very much, just like you two." He paused. "I haven't seen an act of love like this in a long time. You boys didn't want a fancy car for yourselves. You wanted to help your mother. That's a special thing." Walter stood up. "Come with me," he said. He led them out of the office and into the main garage. Betsy was up on a lift, but next to her, covered with a large cloth, was another car. Walter walked over to the covered car. He grabbed a corner of the cloth. "You see," he said, "sometimes when you give a little love to the world gives a little love back to you." He pulled the cloth away. Underneath was a car. But it wasn't an old rusty car like Betsy. It was a beautiful, clean, late-model Toyota sedan. It was a deep blue color. It looked like it had just come from a showroom. The twins couldn't believe their eyes. They just stared. "This was my wife's car," Walter said, his voice a little thick with emotion. "She passed away last year. I've kept it clean. I've maintained it perfectly. But it just sits here. It makes me sad to see it. It needs to be driven. It needs to be useful. It needs to carry a good family." He turned to the twins. He held out a single key. "This," he said, "is for your mother." The twins were speechless. Tears filled their eyes. They couldn't move. "Go on," Walter said gently. "Take it. It's my gift. To you for being such good sons, and to your mother for raising you right." Mark was the first to move. He slowly reached out and took the key. It felt warm and solid in his hand. It felt like a miracle. But our car," Leo stammered. "Betsy." Walter smiled. "Don't you worry about Betsy. I'll use her for parts. She helped bring you here. That was her final job. Now you have a new mission. You have to go and pick up your mother, and you have to tell her the whole story." The twins looked at the beautiful blue car. They looked at each other. Then they did something they hadn't done since they were little kids. They hugged each other tightly and cried tears of joy and relief and overwhelming gratitude. "Thank you," they both said over and over. "Thank you, Mr. Walter." "You're welcome, boys," he said. "Now go. Make your mother's birthday the best one ever." The twins got into the Toyota. The inside smelled clean and new. The engine started with a quiet, powerful purr. It was the most beautiful sound they had ever heard. They drove out of the garage and into the night. They were on their way to change their mother's life and their own. The twins drove the blue Toyota through the quiet streets. The car moved so smoothly, it was like floating on a cloud. Leo held the steering wheel carefully. Mark held the key in his hand, still not quite believing it was real. They were both quiet. Their minds were full of the amazing thing that had just happened. A stranger, a man named Walter, had given them a car. A real, working, beautiful car. For free. Because he saw how much they loved their mother. They pulled up to the diner where their mother worked. The bright lights of the diner shone onto the dark street. They could see her inside. She was wiping down a counter. She looked very tired. She did not see the new car. She was expecting to see their old car, Betsy. Or maybe she was expecting to see them walking, because Betsy had broken down again. They parked the car and got out. Their hearts were beating fast. They walked to the door of the diner and went inside. The bell on the door jingled. Maria looked up. She saw her sons. A warm, tired smile spread across her face. It was the smile they worked so hard to see. "My boys," she said, "what are you doing here so late? I thought you would be at home." Her boss, a friendly woman named Carol, was there too. Carol smiled at the twins. She knew about the secret plan. The twins had told her they were picking up their mom for her birthday. "We came to get you, Mom. Happy birthday!" "But where is the car?" Maria asked, looking past them. She was worried they had walked a long way. "The car is outside," Mark said. He was trying not to smile too widely. "We have a surprise for you." "A surprise?" she said. "For me? You should not have spent money on a surprise." She took off her apron. She said goodnight to Carol. Carol winked at the twins. She knew something good was about to happen. "Come on, Mom," said Leo, taking her hand. They walked her outside. Maria was expecting to see the old, rusty Honda. She was ready to pretend she loved it. She was ready to be happy about it because her boys had worked so hard. But the old Honda was not there. Instead, there was a shiny blue car parked right in front. It looked expensive and new. Maria looked at it, and then she looked at her sons. She was confused. "That is a nice car," she said. "I hope our car did not break down again." "Mom," Mark said, "this is our car. This is your car." Maria stared at them. She thought they were joking, but their faces were serious and full of happiness. "What do you mean?" she asked. "This car? How? This must be a mistake." Leo opened the passenger door for her. "There's no mistake, Mom. Get in. We will explain everything." Slowly, carefully, Maria got into the passenger seat. The seat was comfortable. The inside of the car was clean and smelled fresh. She ran her hand over the dashboard. It was smooth and not cracked. Mark got into the back seat. Leo got into the driver's seat. He started the engine. The engine was so quiet, Maria almost did not hear it. As Leo drove towards home, the twins told her the whole story. They told her about Betsy breaking down in the intersection. They told her about feeling hopeless. They told her about the kind man named Walter. They told her about his wife's car. They told her why he gave it to them. Maria listened. She did not say a word. She just listened. Tears started to well up in her eyes. They were not tears of sadness. They were tears of overwhelming love and gratitude. When they finished the story, they were parked in front of their small apartment building. Leo turned off the engine. The car was silent. Maria turned to look at her sons. Her face was wet with tears, but she was smiling the biggest, most genuine smile they had seen in years. "You did this for me," she whispered. "You saved for 3 years. You bought me a car." Then she started to cry harder, but she was laughing at the same time. She reached out and pulled both of her boys into a tight hug. She held them for a long time. "This is the most wonderful gift anyone has ever given me," she said. "But it is not the car. The car is amazing. It is a miracle. But the real gift is you. The real gift is your love. You are the best sons a mother could ever ask for." The 3 of them sat in the car, hugging and crying happy tears. For the first time in a long time, they felt like everything was going to be okay. The next day, Maria did not have to wake up at 4 in the morning to catch the bus. She slept an extra hour. Then she drove to her cleaning job in the blue Toyota. The trip took 15 minutes instead of an hour. She arrived feeling rested and happy. Her life changed completely. She had more time, she had less stress. She could come home between jobs and rest. The tiredness in her eyes began to fade. She started singing around the apartment again, something she had not done in years. The twins visited Walter every week. They didn't have money to pay him, so they helped him at his garage. They swept the floors, they organized tools, they learned about cars. Walter became like a grandfather to them. He taught them about engines and about life. He was no longer a lonely old man. He had a family again. One Saturday, a few months later, the twins and their mother went to the garage. Maria had baked a pie for Walter. She wanted to thank him properly. When she saw Walter, she hugged him tightly. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for your kindness. You gave me back my time. You gave my boys a lesson in love that they will never forget." Walter's eyes were shiny with tears. "It was my pleasure, Maria," he said. "Your boys gave me something too. They gave me hope. They reminded me that good people are everywhere." They all sat in the office and ate pie together. They laughed and talked. They were not just a mechanic and a customer anymore. They were a family, brought together by a broken-down car and an act of love. The blue car was more than just a vehicle. It became a symbol. It was a symbol of hope. It was a reminder that even when things seem darkest, kindness can appear. It was proof that love is the most powerful force in the world. It can start with two brothers saving their money in a coffee can. It can grow with the help of a stranger, and it can change lives forever. The twins learned that generosity is not about how much money you have. It's about the love in your heart. And they promised themselves that when they were older, they would look for their own chance to be someone else's Walter. They would pass on the kindness. They would keep the chain of love going. And so, the story of the old car and the new car was not just a story about a birthday present. It was a story about the goodness of people. It was a story that proved, without a doubt, that love always finds a way.